Today, we're diving into one of Shakespeare's most famous tragedies, Romeo and Juliet, a tale of love, loyalty, and loss, all set against the backdrop of feuding families. Let's get started. In Verona, the Montagues and Capulets are locked in a bitter feud. The play opens with a street brawl that sets the stage for the tension between the two families. Prince Aeschylus intervenes, warning that further violence will result in death. Enter Romeo, a Montague brooding over his unrequited love for Rosalind. Meanwhile, the Capulets prepare for a grand masquerade ball. Juliet, their daughter, is encouraged to consider marrying Paris, a nobleman. Romeo and his friends, Mercutio and Benvolio, crash the Capulet ball. There, Romeo and Juliet meet for the first time. Sparks fly, and they instantly fall in love. But there's a catch. They discover they belong to rival families. Juliet declares, "My only love sprung from my only hate." Despite the danger, Romeo sneaks into Juliet's orchard that night, and they share a romantic balcony scene. They vow their love and decide to marry in secret. With the help of Friar Lawrence, who hopes their union will end the feud, Romeo and Juliet are wed the next day. Juliet's nurse acts as their go-between, and for a moment it seems love might conquer all. Tensions flare in the streets of Verona. Tybalt, Juliet's fiery cousin, challenges Romeo to a duel. Romeo, now Tybalt's kinsman by marriage, refuses. Mercutio, ever hot-headed, takes up the fight and is killed by Tybalt. Enraged, Romeo retaliates and kills Tybalt. As punishment, Prince Aeschylus banishes Romeo from Verona. Devastated, Romeo and Juliet spend one night together before he flees to Mantua. Meanwhile, Juliet's parents, unaware of her marriage, arrange for her to wed Paris. Juliet is desperate to find a way out. Juliet turns to Friar Lawrence, who devises a risky plan. She will drink a potion that mimics death, allowing her to avoid the marriage to Paris. Once her family believes she's dead, Romeo will rescue her from the tomb, and they'll run away together. Juliet takes the potion and is laid to rest in the Capulet tomb. However, the plan goes awry. Romeo never receives Friar Lawrence's message, explaining the ruse. In Mantua, Romeo hears of Juliet's death. Distraught, he buys poison and rushes to her tomb. There, he encounters Paris, mourning Juliet. They fight, and Paris is killed. Romeo enters the tomb and drinks the poison, dying beside Juliet. Moments later, Juliet awakens to find Romeo dead. Overcome with grief, she takes his dagger and ends her life. The tragedy brings the Montagues and Capulets together in their shared sorrow. They vow to end their feud, but it's too late for their children. As the prince laments, "For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo." And that's Romeo and Juliet, a cautionary tale of love thwarted by hate, where impulsive choices and miscommunication lead to tragedy. Reflect on how the themes of fate and conflict shape the story as you prep for your final exam. Thanks for watching Brisket AI, your quick, in-depth guide to literature.